currently sitting in the market, we're sitting at a $2.74 trillion market capital. On the fear and greed index, we see it's at 18 altcoin seasons, showing 17 out of 100 of the coins are sitting above what Bitcoin's performance has been. And we can kind of see here with the ETF net flows, we're mostly sitting on an outflow at the time. But we're starting to see that kind of shift. Let's go over here and look at the fear and greed index. Like I said, 18. This is looking like prime territory to reverse. Oftentimes, when it gets really, really low, that's the best time to buy because that's when people are going to say, well, this is going to fall. The sky is falling on us. And they'll think that there's no way this thing's going to turn around. Usually when things are the darkest is when things become the brightest in crypto. So don't be worried. Don't be afraid that the sky is falling. I truly believe that altcoin season is right around the corner. We can see, just like I said, we're sitting 17 of these are sitting above where Bitcoin's performance is. And I think we're prime. We're prime for this thing to turn around and be sitting in a beautiful place for us. Bitcoin's dominance, we're starting to see deviation with that. And I think this is looking great. Sucky time to be holding crypto, I know, but work through the pain. I promise it gets better. One of the big things I really wanted to talk about today, WLFI, the strategic plan that Donald Trump has for doing decentralized finance married with centralized finance, or DeFi with CenFi, the token sale has completed. And so that's amazing. Someone down here bought $2.74 million worth. So that's a couple $100,000 or $100,000 and some change worth of this coin. And so where do we stand from here? Why hasn't it gone live? If anyone is actually holding these, you'd have to be an accredited investor to be able to purchase that, which means you have to have a net worth of over $1 million. So that already limited and constricted how many people actually had access to it. Your average person did not have the ability to go out here and buy this. And so a lot of people that wanted to have access to it, they either had to go buy it with somebody else, and that person kind of said, hey, man, I'll buy you so much and just let me know. But your average person couldn't buy this. So I think that's what took it so long to finish the $25 billion in market sales of the tokens, was the fact that we had to complete that with a very restrictive, you had to be an accredited investor in order to purchase this. So 15 hours ago, approximately, the token sale completed. So if we go here to CoinDesk, which, it's pretty reputable. Everyone likes CoinDesk. I haven't really seen too much on here that I thought was bullcrap, except for, they run some articles that they're paid for to do. And you can't really trust those, but everyone knows better than that. And so we see that they've generated about $500 million worth of token sales is what they're saying here. But we also know that some of that's been put on the COW protocol and a few other things, and we'll cover that here in a second. But one of the big things I really want to point out here is that they say right here the WLFI token was only available to accredited investors and cannot be transferred or publicly sold on exchanges with no set date for the exchange listing. And so we're kind of left out in limbo, like, okay, when is this thing going to go live? For anyone else who invested in WLFI like I did, and my father who does crypto with me as well, it's kind of starting to turn into a across the table situation as well. They know that this is a project that has a lot of potential, and we can also see that anything that's associated with Donald Trump tends to really do well. But a lot of people don't know where this is going, and it's raised a lot of questions. WLFI has, hit the top 10 list of raising the most money on the ICOs. So we see EOS right here, right at the top. They raised $4.21 billion. WLFI did as much as BitDAO almost, at $509 million. BitDAO did $630 million. So this thing's done really, really well on its ICO, pre-sale. And so now we're at the point that this thing's supposed to be getting its initial listing. Well, why hasn't it happened yet? And so one of the things I want to point out here is some of this funds were taken and they were putting into Coinbase Prime deposits. And anyone who doesn't understand what Coinbase Prime is, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand what it was until about a month ago. And so I'll show you here, right here. It is for on-chain with institutional grade wallets. Again, that is institutions. So Coinbase is working very, very closely with institutions. We know that WLFI has agreements with Ondo. What does Ondo do? Ondo is designed to tokenize real-world assets. So you have a wallet now that is a custodial wallet specifically made for institutions, and it's institution grade to secure their assets and to have custodialship. And what a custodian is someone who holds and secures funds and is responsible for holding and securing those funds. So if you have, let's just say, like a Fidelity account, and you put your funds on that Fidelity account and you buy stocks or whatever type of portfolio asset you want to buy on that or security, they are the custodian of those funds. That means they have the responsibility to secure and keep those safe. Well, why is this huge? Because Donald Trump has a strategic reserve that he's trying to push through to make us the crypto capital of the world here in the United States. And in order for that to work, you have to have institutional grade security, someone who's going to be a custodian that can actually protect that. And when we're talking about finance, we're no longer talking about the days where, in crypto that you could just, you know, start your computer up and mine a couple Bitcoin and do things like that. And if you lost your wallet, well, that's crypto. That doesn't work. When you're talking about trillions and quadrillions of dollars that need to go through a system, we're really trying to update the Swift network. We're really trying to take this and use financial technologies, FinTech. Well, it has to be reliable. It has to be repeatable. It has to be secure. And so Coinbase, like I said in my last video, I don't think most people really understand how important Coinbase is and to what extent it's going to be used. And I think when you look at WLFI, it is a wonderful case study into how that's going to be used because they are using it for institutional grade asset security. They're putting these in here on these custodial wallets and they use tons of them. So anyone who's done any type of security with crypto, you know that you don't just have one cold wallet, you don't just have one hot wallet, you have multiples. Because if one gets taken down, well, you've got the rest of them that can kind of protect that. It's unlikely they're going to get all of them. And so, super smart that they're using Coinbase to do this. And this is no accident. Donald Trump has sat down with these people. He knows who the CEO of Coinbase is. He knows specifically Ripple's president, Brad Garlinghouse. He understands these people. He has a plan with what is happening with this. And I think anyone who's sleeping on this is being really, really unwise. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a financial consultant. This is what I do every single day. I absolutely love crypto. I've been doing this pretty much full time since 2020. This has been something that I was against. I actually stood against crypto early on. I remember someone brought it up to me when I was in college, talking about how Bitcoin was going to be the future. And I was like, man, I don't know about that. That fake money, that internet magic money, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I said all the same rote things that every other idiot did that didn't understand it. And then I finished and became a financial consultant. And that's something that I did full time. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at the table talking to my dad about Bitcoin because my younger brother, Jacob, had actually told my dad, hey, you should buy some of that Bitcoin. It's going to be big. And I want to say it was like, $1,200 right then. And my brother, who's a financial advisor, and I'm a financial consultant, both sat there and told my dad, who's a financial advisor as well, don't buy that. Everyone's going to prison. That stuff is the fakest thing in the world. It's a huge scam. Well, here we are sitting at $100,000. And in 2020, I saw the light. I understood how blockchain worked. I understood that there was a path from this fintech, how we could go from the trad finance, traditional finance, to fintech, and how it could be mirrored with XRP and Ondo and all these other ones so that centralized finance doesn't get left out of the gap because institutions need to have some type of centralized form of finance. You know, you can't have the United States, who has the gold standard. It can't just give into DeFi entirely. You can't do that. We have to have some ways to be able to go back out there and claw back money when it goes to the wrong places. And that's what centralized finance can do. That's why we need it. We need decentralized finance. And I think that's what Donald Trump is pushing. And I say all this to say, we are starting to move into that Web3 world. We're starting to move into a world who's going to accept this fintech, this financial technology, because it can do things better. It can do things in the way that we need to do things in this world because it's holding us back at this point. If we don't accept this, we're just fighting the progress that needs to happen. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love cash. I think cash is king, but we're seeing our US dollar be devaluated at a rate that is astronomical. And we see that in the form of inflation every single day. It's amazing to see the price of eggs come down. I mean, I've got my own chickens. Everybody else should, I think. But we are seeing inflation go in ways that are so parabolic that having a hard time affording homes. We got the interest rates right now are 8 and something percent. I mean, I bought mine back in 2020. I refinanced it for like 2.875%. I'd be an idiot to sell my house. And so would everybody else. So until our financial system can have some type of transparency, until it can have some type of reliability, until we can know that there is some type of security out there for our assets, and that the government isn't just spending it on every single DEI, which can be spelled DIE. It's one of my favorite quotes. We're not going to have any security in our dollar. And so that's what I think that Donald Trump is really trying to do. He's trying to harness the future. He's trying to set our sails into that wind and put us in the right direction. And so everyone who's been throwing shade towards this, I think they're idiots. I really do. And I hope everyone hears this. I mean, take this, send this out there, pass it out to other people. I've done a lot of research on WLFI. We've put a lot of money into this. I really believe in WLFI. If you're looking for information on WLFI, you're going to want to go to x.com or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to want to look at their actual page here. This is it right here. And if we scroll down here, we can see this pin right here where there's been a lot of hate thrown at them. And they always kind of put that this is the last, post in this thread to keep people from doing anything crazy. But I talked about Ondo partnering with WLFI. One of the other big companies that's partnered with WLFI on March 7th was SWE Network. If you don't know what SWE Network is, really go look into them. They do some amazing things. They're really, really important. But one of the big things that they're trying to do here is to help with this strategic token reserve, as you can see there, for the Web3 projects. So anything that's going to be moving us into a very digital world where things become more easily accessible, more easy to research, more easy to get a hold of, which I know sucks at the same time because it almost goes directly against brick and mortar, which I'm an old time guy. Like I'm a millennial, but I really like the old ways of doing things. But I can't deny the fact that Web3 is important and Web3 has a future with us that we absolutely need. And so we see this strategic token reserve. Okay, well, what does that mean? So if we click over here, we can actually see a little further down on this link that was on February 11th. They said they were thrilled to announce a transformative initiative that marks a significant milestone in our journey together. WLFI is proud to unveil a macro strategy, our strategy token reserve designed to bolster leading projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies that are the forefront of reshaping global finance. Purpose of macro strategy is a couple prongs. First, it's enhance stability, foster growth, build trust, strategic partner with traditional financial institutions. That one is huge because you have to bring everybody into this together. If we're trying to change the landscape of how financial world works, it needs to incorporate all of the institutions that are there right now. They have to be incentivized to do it, and it has to be for the common good of everybody. If it doesn't accomplish all those things, we're putting ourselves in a worse position because you're just going to have people continue to launder money. You have people continue to steal money. There's going to be more deception out there, which ultimately corrodes like a cancer and kills the whole host. So we need to have all these things happen. So as we build those trusts, as we foster that growth, enhance the scalability, and have those strategic partnerships with financial institutions, people are going to be incentivized to push this forward. We're going to have public blockchain visibility. When's the last time the Department of Defense passed an audit? Like 10 years ago, they tried to do it. Back in 2001, 9/11, they were supposed to have a full audit of the Pentagon and everything else then, and then 9/11 happened. Don't even get me started on conspiracy theories with that. Um, you know, Innovative marketing opportunities, and joint PR and branding efforts. And, so a lot of people are out here saying, well, I don't understand WLFI. It's going to give me voting rights and all these other things. If we click back here, you can kind of see some of that. Talk about governance. You'll have equal voting power, proposal creation, steering DeFi structure. Like, I don't understand. Like, how is this accomplishing any of that? Okay. Well, if you want to have a say in how the future of crypto is going to be integrated for Web3 and the rest of our financial situation, and you don't want your vote to get caught up in the stalemates of Congress and everything else, well, Web3 is technology. We're talking about decentralized finance technologies. We're also talking about centralized finance technologies, and our country will be invested in this directly or indirectly through a strategic crypto reserve. This is your opportunity to vote on that because you're going to be dealing specifically with those organizations who are partnering, like Ondo and SWE and so many others that have linked in and said, we like where this WLFI is going. We like this concept of this World Liberty Financial Institution token. We like where these initiatives are going. We like the strategic side of this. This is where your voice, your vote can be heard because you are putting your money where your mouth is. And now these companies are going to see that. So this is more of a governance token, but in a lot of ways, this gives you the ability to actually go out there and say, hey, I want to see a better way that we can have transactions on our phones that take 3 to 5 seconds instead of having to wait 3 to 5 business days for this, return to come in. I want to see the IRS do transactions that are transparent and that anytime the IRS takes money from anybody, that there can be some way that can be tracked. No more show us the taxes of this individual or that individual. I want to see where the Department of Defense's spending is going. We don't need to know every single project. Truthfully, having been in the Department of Defense, I was in the Air Force. Some of those things you have to have top secret and classified information, and there needs to be a time and a place for that. But when you have somebody who's out here buying $100,000 worth of K cups, Starbucks K cups for the IRS, I mean, holy crap! Where is the transparency for that crap? We had to have Doge explain that to us. We would never have known about that. And so I would love to see the financial sector kind of put pressure on our government through this. I think this is a way that we can all have a voice into how all this is going to be taking place as Donald Trump continues to change. Keep in mind, he's only been in presidency for like a month and a half. Like everybody's like, how do you think your life is better from when he took office? Has he kept your promises? He did everything that I voted for him to do so far. He has gone so much further, so much faster than I ever expected that he could, that any politician would have ever done. And so when he's sitting here saying that this WLFI, he sits on the board with this thing, he's got his family in it. He's got Scott Witkoff. He's got the Sun guy that's part of here. There are so many people that are sitting in this organization that are big names. If you don't know who all these guys are, I would look them up if I were you. I would say probably 95% of all these dudes, they are some of the best in the field at what they do, or they are deeply connected to the best at what they do. Barron Trump, I mean, he's got a bright future. This isn't really a political channel. I'm not trying to be political. I know we got people from all sides of the spectrum that are going to be watching anything on crypto, but just know that they are doing this for the best of crypto. It's obviously going to benefit them, but it's going to benefit all of us as well. So as we look at all these things, understand that WLFI, if you've been confused with it, like so many other people have been, it's because maybe you don't understand how all the financial systems work. And I'm not saying that I 100% understand them all either. What I'm saying is I can see a pathway of what they're trying to accomplish. Everyone does everything because they're motivated for certain reasons. You don't just get up and leave the house unless you're motivated for some reason to get out and leave the house. We have a process, an OODA loop that we go through every single time to do anything. And so there is a method behind the madness of what is happening with WLFI. I don't know when it's going to go live. I really hope it goes live soon because I think it would put a lot of the hate to bed really quickly. But I think that they're out here wheeling and dealing and making better plans to try to make this go live the right way the first time. I don't think he wants this to flop. And so, as excited as I was about 15 hours to go to hear that this was live and that, all the tokens that we have are going to be, available to us to be used in some way, size, form, or fashion. I think when this thing actually does go live, though, I think that it's going to have one of the most parabolic and crazy token sales that there ever has been, because I think they're going to come out here and outline a lot of what I have to say as well, because the KYC process to get these tokens for an accredited investor was insane. Unless you were, had over $1 million or were in the financial sector that have some type of license, it was pretty much shut out to you. And I think that's because there was so many things that weren't set in stone yet. The gold paper was pretty vague about how they were planning to do everything. But I think that when they actually do the full unveil on what their plan is, it's going to shock people. And I also think that there's a reason that he didn't tell everyone exactly what he was planning to do, because he doesn't want all of the people who are actively trying to destroy the Make America Great movement. He didn't want to show his hand. This is a game of poker when you're dealing with the type of cesspool and the type of deceit and money laundering and crime, the actual institutional level crime that is happening and has been happening up in Washington, D.C. for years. This is what he's up against. So when he's out here creating something to try to change the financial system, which we always have a saying, in the military, no money, no mission. And they have a saying as well, if you want to know where the crime is, follow the money. That is what he's up against. He's trying to revolutionarily change the way our financial system works and put America first in a way that our national debt can actually go into reverse. Wouldn't it be great? There are so many solutions being thrown out there that he could possibly do to reverse our debt overnight. But wouldn't it be great if we even had just a 15, 20-year plan that could actually reduce our debt and put us back into the black on the books? Because right now we are so deep in the red that if he had not been president, I really think that we would have all legitimately, we'd be living through the greatest depression that would have ever been witnessed. It would have made Zimbabwe, would have made Greece look like child's play. And so I am super stoked for this because I believe that there is a future with WLFI that has so much potential that if this takes off the way that I really am hoping, this will be one of the greatest opportunities that people missed, and they're going to wish they got in on. This is going to be like buying Google when you could have bought it earlier on, or been on any type of situation where you could have had a say in how the market was going to work. This is the greatest opportunity, in my opinion. And so I will wear that until the day I die. If this thing is a huge failure, you can throw it back in my face. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making mistakes. But I have one good talent in this world, and it's seeing a good thing and jumping on it when I see it. It doesn't mean all my picks are winners. And again, this is not financial advice. I am just giving you education and telling you my personal experience and views on things. But I absolutely feel it in my gut that this thing is going to be huge. And so if you have the ability to watch this closely for when it goes live, I think you would do well to pay close attention to it. If you're already invested and you're feeling a little nervous about this, all I would tell you is just relax. We haven't seen Donald Trump do anything that actually really hurt Americans, truthfully. I know anyone's going to be like, what about all the immigrants? I don't care. I don't want to talk about the politics. I want to talk about the dollars. When we talk about dollars, he has done nothing but actually help American citizens. I know everyone's worried about the tariffs and all these other things, and they're saying it hurts us, whatnot. We've been getting screwed for years. Wouldn't it be nice to actually have something that works the financial system for our benefits? If you don't believe me, you obviously have never made more than $100,000 a year and had to pay the taxes on that, or had to make anything where you own a business, because you will understand how bad the financial system is to anyone who actually has money. And so I want all of you guys to be rich. I want all of you guys to be wealthy. I want all of you to be able to follow all the dreams you have. So that's why I'm talking about WLFI. Otherwise, I'd just keep my mouth shut. In fact, I had no plans of starting this crypto channel until I've had so many people asking me to consult with them and talk to them about crypto. Literally, I don't have enough hours in the day. That's actually what this is accomplishing, is helping people say, hey, go look at this channel and see what I'm recommending. What I would say if I was you and I was trying to accomplish something and I just wanted to get into crypto, this is what I would do. If I was you and I was trying to understand how WLFI would work, this is where I did my research. This is how I'm understanding how all this works. And so that's the purpose of this channel. Please share this with other people. Please boast this out there. If you disagree with me, tell me in the comments why. I am open to having discussions. I am fallible. I'm just a human being like you are, but I've dedicated my life to understanding financial markets, to understanding how different assets work that are good fits for people, and understanding how I can profit from that, how others can profit from that. I don't give financial advice, but I consult on financial assets and products and things that I think have a future. I give hypotheses on how things can happen. Hypotheses. I give my hypothesis on how things could happen. But I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're excited for the future of our country, because I think we are on a new path, and it all begins with correcting our finances. Once we get those books fixed, once we get a path set, once we get our debt consolidated, once we have a way of actually getting our funds in a good direction, because we are a strong country. We are very wealthy, but we're just getting that wealth drained from us all the time. Once we get this fixed, we will start to see how great America really is. Then we can really go out and help people. But again, guys, this has gone on for much longer than I was expecting. I hope you guys are doing great. Please like, subscribe, share the channel. If you have anything you want me to do a video on, please put it in the comments. You can directly message me however you want. I would love to do any videos that you guys have. But until next time, take care. Have a great day.